Mpoto. Thank you so much, Mpoto and the band. Honorable Mohamed Omar Mchengerwa, Mtukazi, as you also known by that name. You're warmly welcome at the Hyatt Regency Hotel here in Dar es Salaam, where we do expect you to open the Tanzania Pharmaceutical Production Investment Forum. And as you've just arrived, we're pleased to have to sing our national anthem. Please, studio. Let's give a very, very huge round of applause. Thank you so much. Honorable Minister and all the high table members, we get seated, and all the participants. Honorable Mohamed Mchengerwa, as I just said, we do expect you to open the Tanzania Pharmaceutical Production Investment Forum, which looks at unlocking Tanzania's potential as a regional pharmaceutical manufacturing hub, which has main three purposes, which are, the first one is to showcase pharmaceutical manufacturing investment opportunities in Tanzania. And the second purpose is to highlight government incentives, regulatory pathways, and support mechanisms, but also to facilitate networking between investors, manufacturers, government, regulators, and development partners. And that's why all these investors, manufacturers are here with you today. And therefore, after your arrival, and we just sang the national anthem, allow me now to welcome Dr. Grace Magembe, who is a Government Chief Medical Officer, to give a very brief welcoming remarks and introduction of the participants. Dr. Grace Magembe, I cordially welcome you on the podium. Let's give a hand of applause to Dr. Magembe.
Honorable Minister, Omari Mchengerwa, I'm standing before you and the audience to give an introduction, just to understand who is here and where they're coming from. And before I start doing that, the Master of Ceremony has already talked a bit on the objectives of this meeting, but allow me to briefly elaborate a bit on those objectives. So one of them, as he said, is to seek and to showcase the wide range of pharmaceutical manufacturing investment opportunities in Tanzania, but we'll also be able to share how fast growing our market is, supportive policy environment, and also expanding industrial infrastructure. So all this will be shared here today. But again, we'll use this opportunity as well to provide an opportunity to highlight what the government of Tanzania is doing in terms of providing incentives, regulatory pathways, but also other support mechanisms that are designed to attract and sustain pharmaceutical manufacturing investments. Honorable Minister, the third objective, and which is also equally important, is that this meeting is intended to foster meaningful networking and dialogue between our domestic investors, but also our foreign investors or international investors in the manufacturing industry of health commodities, but also government institutions that are present here, regulators, and development partners. So we look forward to an open engagement, very constructive dialogue, and also a practical outcome that will move Tanzania very closer to becoming a regional pharmaceutical manufacturing hub in East Africa, but also in the globe. Honorable guests, now allow me to do the introduction. One, let me start by introducing you, our guest of honor, Honorable Mohamed Mchengerwa, the Minister of Health. Thank you. With us also we have a Deputy Minister from the Ministry of Finance, Honorable Msham Munde. We also have Dr. Banuel Nyawasa. This is a representative from the Tanzania Parliamentary Committee on Health and HIV issues. This is a parliamentary committee that oversees all interventions and all interventions that are done by the health sector. But also with us, allow me to introduce to you the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Sef Shekalage. And also together with me, allow me to introduce our representative from TISEZA. He was supposed to be representing Dr. Terry, please. And we also have Mr. Bashir, who is here with us. He's the chairperson of Tanzania Pharmaceutical Manufacturers Associations, so representing a number of manufacturers in this country. Karibu, Mr. Bashir. But also together with us, we are also privileged to have the Director General of TMDA, Dr. Adam Fimbo. We have the Director General of MSD, Mr. Mavere Tukai. We have the Chairperson of Pharmaceutical Investment Acceleration Task Force. You realize that, Honorable Minister, you composed this team to make sure that investment in Tanzania actually is no longer a headache to anyone. This is a team that is, we are looking for that this team will facilitate, you know, investment initiatives within the country. And this team is chaired by Mr. Amur, who's here. And, but also Mr. Emmanuel Tayari, who's the Vice Chair of this task force. Thank you. And also with us, we have representatives from different government departments and ministries. Could you all rise together? Minister of Health, PRH, and all other ministries that are here. Can you please stand up? And departments, yes. Thank you. And we also have members of the Pharmaceutical Investment Acceleration Task Force. Could you just rise, all of you together? Yes, the members are there. And we also have, Honorable Minister, the aim of this forum was to bring together investors, both from Tanzania, but also from other countries, that is international investors. And I'm very honored to tell you that together in this meeting, we have almost 457 investors from this country, local investors. Could you all rise up together for the interest of time? Thank you very much for coming. But also, when we looked at the registration, we had 40 investors across the globe. And today, we are privileged to have 25 of them attending this meeting. So, and these are coming from different countries, just to mention the countries. And as I mention your country, could you please rise up? We have investors from the United Arab Emirates. Thank you. We have investors from India. Thank you very much. And we have investors from Egypt, German, Somalia, Sudan, Kenya, China, Rwanda, and Ethiopia. But also, Honorable Minister, we have invited guests from different institutions as well as the media family. Having said that, thank you very much for the opportunity, and I beg to submit.
Thank you, Dr. Grace Magembe, the government's Chief Medical Officer. Let's give another round of applause to her, please. A very huge round of applause. Thank you so much, Dr. Magembe. And now, Honorable Minister, allow me to welcome Mzee Bashir Harun, who is chairperson of the TPMA, which is Tanzania Pharmaceutical Manufacturers Association, to give a very brief greetings from the association. Karibu sana mzee wangu.
Honorable Minister, Honorable Mchengerwa, Honorable Deputy Minister, Permanent Secretary, all government dignitaries, our guest today from investment from different countries, my fellow Tanzanians, very good afternoon. Or it's morning. On behalf of our government and the people of United Republic of Tanzania, I warmly welcome you to our country and this important investment forum. I am pleased to address you on behalf of Tanzania Pharmaceutical Manufacturer Association and to present to you compelling investment opportunities within Tanzania pharmaceutical manufacturing sector. Tanzania is politically and economically very stable country with a strong commitment to private sector-led growth. This stability provides a secure and predictable environment for long-term investment, particularly in strategic sector such as this pharmaceutical sector. Over the past years, local investors, we have established pharmaceutical manufacturing facilities covering almost all the fields of pharmaceutical, large volume parentals, solid dosages, capsules, liquid formulations, and all of these plants operate to internationally recognized GMP standards, supported by a very robust regulatory framework led by Tanzania Medicine and Medical Device Authority, TMDA. TMDA is a WHO accredited institution, and we are very proud. So we don't compromise on our quality of production in Tanzania in regard to pharmaceutical. In line with our government development agenda, Tanzania aims to increase local manufacturing production of pharmaceutical to over 50% of national demand. And this is driven by our President, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan. And today we are very pleased for our minister to be here. He has been in this office less than 100 days, and this agenda has been top in the priority, and we thank our government for this particular step towards enhancing manufacturing facilities in Tanzania for pharmaceutical. To facilitate this goal, the Ministry of Health has established Pharmaceutical Investment Acceleration Task Force. This shows the willingness of the government to resolve all the challenges which we are facing today in this industry. So we are very proud of this task force, and we believe that this task force will look at the challenges and create a conducive environment which will enable the existing investment to grow and attract more foreign investment in our country. Tanzania also offers a very strong market fundamentals. Our healthcare sector is expanding very rapidly, and the country is attracting medical tourism. Our health facilities in this country are really accelerating. We have established many healthcare facilities, which now we are targeting to become a hub for medical tourism in the region. So this is a very strong market fundamentals for the pharma industry. And as you know, Tanzania is well positioned to serve as a regional pharmaceutical manufacturing and distribution hub for East and Central Africa. We invite you to partner with us through joint ventures. We, as local manufacturers, we are quite open to join hands with all foreign investment so that we can grow together and capture this market. We are also inviting you for technology transfer and greenfield investment and unlock these opportunities to contribute to sustainable healthcare development in the region. We are serious, and we are here today to make sure that Tanzania can accelerate and achieve this target. I welcome all of you. Welcome to Tanzania. Welcome to this huge market, and we are here to cooperate with our government to ensure that the target of the government is achieved. Thank you very much.
Asante sana Mzee Harun. Thank you so much.
And therefore, we as the Standing Committee on Health and AIDS Affairs, we are giving a commitment that all the regulatory issues that will be needed to be approved and that you will need our input, will be available, and will give the necessary input so that we give a very fair, a very good investments environment to our investors so that we can reach this important goal. Lastly, I would like to say that also we understand there will be an issues on legal issues which will need a parliamentary approval, and therefore our committees, on behalf of the chairperson of our committee, will give the necessary input so that we improve a legal environment for investors to work and safeguard their investments within our country so that we harness from this a very prestigious opportunity. And therefore, Honorable Minister, together with your ministry, we welcome you to our committee whenever you have an issues to present, and we give our commitment to support in realizing this vision of having a very, very good manufacturing industry on pharmaceutical commodities in our country. Thank you, and we are there to support you. Asante sana.
Thank you so much, Dr. Emmanuel Nwas. Mheshimiwa Waziri Dr. Nwas, huyu yeye ni daktari kabisa wa binadamu, ni tabibu, amehudumu kwa muda mrefu kule Mbulu katika hospitali ya Haydom Lutheran pale na maeneo mengine. Na sasa Mheshimiwa Waziri, ninaomba uridhie tupokee salamu kutoka Wizara ya Fedha, na zinawasilishwa na Mheshimiwa Naibu Waziri wa Wizara ya Fedha, Mheshimiwa Msham Munde. I now welcome to the podium Honorable Msham Munde, who is the Deputy Minister of Finance, for very brief remarks. Karibu sana Mheshimiwa.
As it was introduced, I am Engineer Msham Ali Munde. I'm the Deputy Minister of Finance. I'm here to deliver a brief speech that has been given me by the Minister of Finance, Honorable Ambassador Musa Omar Hamis. Honorable guest of honor, distinguished investors, development partners, senior government officials, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my honor and privilege to address you today on a matter of strategic importance to the government of the United Republic of Tanzania, the development of domestic and regional manufacturing capacity for health-related supplies and the role of public-private partnership, PPP, in realizing this objective. Honorable guest of honor, the COVID-19 pandemic and other global disruptions provided a clear lesson to us that health security is inseparable from economic security. Countries that depend heavily on imports for essential medical supplies are vulnerable to external shocks, supply disruptions, and foreign exchange pressures. Tanzania has therefore made a deliberate policy choice to strengthen local production of pharmaceuticals, medical devices, diagnostics, and other health commodities. At the same time, demand for health products is growing rapidly, as you know, both domestically and across the East African and Southern African countries. This presents not only a public health imperative, but also a significant industrial and investment opportunity. I hope this is why you're here. Honorable guest of honor, the government recognizes that achieving this ambition requires strong collaboration with the private sector. Public-private partnerships offer a powerful mechanism to mobilize private capital, technology, innovation, and managerial expertise, while ensuring that public interests are safeguarded. Through PPP arrangements, Tanzania is opening opportunities for investors to participate in the following: pharmaceutical and medical device manufacturing facilities, diagnostic laboratory supplies and reagents, shared infrastructures such as quality control laboratories, cold chains, and logistics platforms, and more importantly, technology transfer and contract manufacturing partnerships. To support these opportunities, the government has strengthened the legal and institutional framework for PPPs. As you all know, PPP has been a nightmare for quite a while, and this is why PPP projects are not many. Amendments to the Public-Private Partnership Act in 2023 has enhanced flexibility, transparency, and investor confidence, while aligning PPP projects with the incentives available under the Tanzania Investment and Special Economic Zone Act, TISEZA. Honorable guest of honor, we are equally committed to ensuring that Tanzania remains a competitive and attractive investment destination. Investors in health-related manufacturing benefit from a range of fiscal and non-fiscal incentives. As you probably incentives in this include fiscal aids, including tax reliefs, exemptions on capital goods and raw materials. Hair products also enjoy preferential access to public procurement, providing beyond the domestic market under the East Africa Community, investors to serve a population of 400 million people from table base. This is a big opportunity to investors. Honorable guest of honor, our long and clear. Tanzania aims to become a center of quality production, innovation, and export. Mission is in policy consistency and private collaboration. To our investors and today, to emphasize this to you, Tanzania is open for partnership. I repeat, for partnership. We engage, work with you so that we build resilient health supply chain, transfer technology, and deliver lasting value to our people and the region. For your attention and for your confidence in Tanzania. Look forward to fruitful discussion.
Asante sana Mhandisi Mshamali Munde. Let's get on him. And now, Mohamed Mchengerwa, after this very first round of greetings from various groups, to entertainment from the band. Stage for the prepared entertainment for today's event. Asante sana. Karibu sana. Tuwapige makofi mengi sana mjomba Bendo.
Count the life in number for years, but in seconds and minutes of needs, which result in people's art and I think prestige. Maisha hatuyahesabu kwa karne na miaka, ni matendo ya wajibu sekunde ama dakika. yatakayo watu kuyakumbuka, ndiyo maisha thawabu yanayoesta. Ndugu zangu, hatuangalii tumeishi karne ngapi, hatuangalii tumeishi miongo mingapi, tunaangalia katika sindo ulioaminiwa fanya nini kwa ajili ya kuacha. Leo tunazungumzia miaka kadhaa katika historia ya nchi hii. Tunazungumzia Watanzania zaidi ya milioni 61 ya kwa hakuna sababu nyingine, lengo tu raia maisha ya nchi aliyozaliwa. Mtu kazi kinachotokea Tanzania, kila wanapolala wanaamka wanaulizia kuhusiana na afya zao. Watanzania kila wanapolala wanaamka wanauliza bima itaanza lini kwa ajili ya maisha yao. Mtu kazi, forum hii leo unayokwenda kuifanya leo inakwenda kuandika historia katika nafasi ulioaminiwa na Mheshimiwa Rais. Wengi sana mtu kazi, hawa ni wagi wako, hawa wako wamefuata wewe. Basi wawekeze Tanzania. Ukienda kwenye kila kona ya nchi hii, watu wanataka kuwa na uhakika wa afya zao, na afya zao ziko kwenye mikono yako. Afya zao ziko kwenye dhamana ulioaminiwa. Mtu kazi, wageni wako ni hawa, zungumza nao, wapewe fursa, tupunguze urasimu, aingie mlango huu, atoke mlango ule, akiwa na certificate yake, aende akaanzisha kiwanda chake, tunusuru wa Tanzania. Hii nchi ni ya kwetu. Hakuna kuijenga bali ni mimi na wewe. Wawekezaji tupige kofi moja moja. Pa. 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 Imba kimoyo moyo, imba kimoyo moyo. Uwe mmoja wao. Uwe mmoja wao. Uwe mmoja wao. Uwe mmoja wao. Hii ni Tanzania yetu, nchi ni ya kwetu. Hakuna wa kuijenga bali ni mimi na wewe. Tuimbe wote, tuimbe wote, tuimbe wote. Kuijenga bali ni mimi na wewe. Mwenye moyo wa kizalendo. Uwe mmoja wao. Uwe mmoja. Waonyeshe fursa za uwekezaji kwenye viwanda vya dawa Tanzania. Uwe mmoja wao. Uwe mmoja wao.
A very huge round of applause to Mrisho Mpoto and Mjomba Bend. Asante sana Mjomba Bend. To those who didn't understand what the song means, the main message in the song outlines how important you guys are to the government, to the health sector in our country, and how this forum is going to make a huge impact to the development of our health sector. But also he addressed the need for universal health coverage, which indeed the ministry is working hard on it. And it can be remembered that the government has ordered that the universal health coverage must start as soon as possible, and the president herself promised that in first 100 days in power, this issue is going to be covered keenly. And the other message outlines how vital it is for you, the investors, to have a very good and conducive investment environment in this health sector. So again, let's give a very huge round of applause to Mrisho Mpoto. Na sasa Mheshimiwa Waziri, mara baada ya burudani hiyo na ambayo imetuhitimishia hatua ya kwanza ya salamu kutoka kwa makundi mbalimbali, niruhusu sasa nialike salamu kutoka kwa wizara kwa kifupi kabisa, na salamu ambazo ndizo zitatufungulia njia za wewe kuzungumza na hadhara hii. And now, I cordially welcome to the podium the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Saif Shakalage, who is going to do two things. One, to bring to you a few remarks from the Minister of Health, and the second task is to invite the guest of honor to speak before us today. Let's give a hand of applause to the Permanent Secretary. Karibu sana, Katibu Mkuu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister Mohamed Mchengerwa, Minister of Health, distinguished guests. I also appreciate and recognize people sitting on the high table, especially the Deputy Minister from Finance, Minister of Finance, representing Minister of Finance. Allow me, before I give my remarks, to give an additional introduction. The World Chief Medical Officer was giving introduction to who is in the room or who have registered. There were a few members that were forgotten, but also let me also appreciate the registration of United Kingdom, members from United Kingdom, but also from Canada, from France, from Pakistan, from Russia, from Latvia, and from Uganda. And we are going to do this as we continue, as people are continuing registering. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and once again, you are warmly welcome to Tanzania, but most important, welcome to this Tanzania Pharmaceutical Production Investments Forum. Honorable Minister, Honorable Minister, health is one of the key variables in the equation of economic development. Health. If any country to develop economically, you need a healthy population. If you have a healthy population, then people will engage into different economic activities, and in turn, the country develop economically. And we do understand for the country to have a healthy population, and then there is a primary prevention where the sector of health, making sure people, they don't get illness. But also it is our mandated to make sure that when people get ill, there is a medication to treat the people so they could come to the population, then they can continue with their economic activities. And this forum now is where is the key, making sure that there are medicines, there are medical equipment that when people get sick, they will be treated and they will go back to their economic activities. Realizing that the government of Tanzania under the leadership of Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, who has heavily invested in the health sector, realized the importance of achieving self-sufficient in terms of pharmaceutical production in all aspects. We are talking medicine, but we are talking some of the devices that are also being used. Hence, the government of Tanzania has always encouraged the investment from both local and also from the international investors. And this is why we have been called upon this forum, where Honorable Mohamed Mchengerwa has called this forum, just to assure that the investment in our country, but also to continue showing that the government is willing and is ready to attract and give all the support to the investors. Honorable Minister, you on 23rd of December last year, 2025, you have formed and launched the pharmaceutical investment that is aiming to facilitate and accelerate. This was a task force that you formed on 23rd of December last year. And the objective of that task force, you really wanted to facilitate and accelerate the process of the investment in our country. But also, Honorable Minister, in that regard, you also on that day launched in our website the expression of interest for the investors who wanted to invest in our country. But also on the same day, 23rd, you instructed us that we organize to have this forum. This is another day, and it's a big hit. And in this regard, on behalf of you, I would like really to ask each one of us who are in this room to appreciate each one for us to come in a large number. Please join me to put our hands together that we appreciate each one of us for coming in a large number. Honorable Minister, organizing this forum was not easy, but for you, as we call you Mtukazi, your aim, you want to make sure that they are sufficient in the medical production in our country. Having said that, Honorable Minister, I don't want to talk too much, but I was just trying to set the ground for you. When I invite you, then you could deliver your speech. Now, with the respect, I would like to invite you to come and deliver your speech, and I am sure the audience is ready to listen to your speech, the directives, the hope that you are going to give these investors that have coming in a large number from different countries. Honorable Minister, please welcome to deliver your speech.
We stand up as our honorable minister to address us. Let's join our hands together for Honorable Minister as he prepares to speak to us. Thank you so much. Karibu sana Mheshimiwa Waziri, karibu sana Mtukazi, karibu sana
Manufacturer Association in the country. Dr. Grace, Chief Medical Officer, members of the Pharmaceutical Investment Acceleration Task Force, prospective investors, and local pharmaceutical manufacturers, distinguished guests, media, ladies and gentlemen, I recognize as well the presence of Wanawake na Samia. I've heard they're here as well. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Allow me to begin by thanking Almighty God for granting us this opportunity to gather here today in good faith, in good health. I also sincerely thank our Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, for entrusting me with the responsibility of serving as a Minister of Health Sector. Her vision for this sector is bold, strategic, and long-term, particularly in the area of pharmaceutical production, which she rightly views as a cornerstone of health security, industrial economic growth, and national dignity. Honorable guests, distinguished investors, ladies and gentlemen, I warmly welcome you to this strategic forum. Your presence here is not incidental. It is a clear demonstration of our shared commitment to building a strong, competitive, and self-reliant pharmaceutical sector. It shows your readiness to join the President's vision of transforming Tanzania toward pharmaceutical regional manufacturing hub. The government recognizes pharmaceutical and health product manufacturers as strategic partners in safeguarding the health of Tanzania and our national journey toward self-reliance, regional and global competitiveness. I clearly understand that national health security cannot be built on dependence in imported medicines alone. It must be built by encouraging local investments, strengthening the capacity of our industries, and fully integrating them into regional and global value chains. Honorable guests, distinguished investors, ladies and gentlemen, we have convened today with a specific purpose to create an open, honest, and practical dialogue between the government and investors to showcase pharmaceutical manufacturing investment opportunities in our country, highlight government incentives, regulatory pathways, and support mechanisms, and facilitate network and tap the prevailing opportunities in manufacturing sector. Honorable guests, distinguished investors, ladies and gentlemen, over the past years, Tanzania has made a significant progress in improving access to essential medicines and health commodities. We have strengthened regulatory systems, improved the procurement supply chains mechanisms, invested in health infrastructure, and doubled the health commodities budget. However, industrial project, it is a strategic investment in health, the economy of science, and Tanzania global standing. For this reason, the government has introduced the pharmaceutical acceleration strategy to facilitate and speed up all the processes. We recognize that the pharmaceutical sector cannot wait for slow conventional decision-making processes. Given its strategic importance to national health, economic growth, and security, the government has established fast-track mechanism to remove structural bottlenecks and accelerate investment decisions. Under this strategy, licensing, permits, land access, taxation, product registration, and infrastructure provision will be processed concurrently rather than sequentially. The goal is to provide serious investors with clear, predictable, and timely decisions. To operationalize this, the government has established the Pharmaceutical Investment Acceleration Task Force, PIT. PIT has direct authority to coordinate and fast-track strategic pharmaceutical investment from project evaluation and approval to final implementation decision, eliminating bureaucracy delays. PIAT brings together decision makers with direct authority across policy, regulation, finance, and trade, and public government. Those that the decision are made decisively at one table with a unified national perspective. Through PIAT, Tanzania is getting a window for pharmaceutical investors through transparent, time-bound, and result-oriented. PIAT does not only facilitate, it monitors implementation investors and this to formally announce that has issued interest for investment in pharmaceutical and health product manufacturing and facilitated between Tanzania as a major pharmaceutical producer. Enough. Our vision goes beyond meeting domestic demand. We aim to establish a hub East Africa and the entire continent. This will family for contribute to regional international security. Third, next generation medicines advance. Not a matter of preference, it is a matter of necessity. Is that many medicines available in African markets are based on outdated technologies that have long countries. Yet science is advancing rapidly, continuously, improving treatment quality, patient safety, and cost effectiveness. By investing more in pharmaceutical industry, Tanzania can transition from being a passive recipient of outdated medicine to innovation. Advanced improved systems, more effects. In simple terms, better science leads to better outcome for patients. Tanzania has been in the market all these medicines to protect lives, improve healthcare quality, and permanently remove Tanzania from the cycle of dependence on outdated, poor quality pharmaceutical facility. manufacture that lowers entity barriers, shorten times to market, distinguished investors. As I've already stated, and let me emphasize again with full clarity, market stability is non-negotiable. I will repeat. Market certainty Tanzania is not inviting you to invest and leave exposed. You invest and the government protects your market position. The government will protect your market position. And these include instruments to prevent unfair input competition, enforcement against substandard and dumping practices. Allow me to state this point with absolute clarity. No investor, I will repeat, no investor will be asked to build factories in our country only to be frustrated by unfair imports. That era is over. And further, we will use all lawful power of the state, police, regulation, procurement, and taxation to protect serious pharmaceutical investments. Importation will not be allowed to undermine, delay, or suffocate domestic manufacturing. Our ambition is simple: medicines made in Tanzania, trusted in Africa, and accepted globally. Therefore, our objective is clear: for quality assured medicines, serving domestic demand. Government is investing alongside the private sector to reduce risk, enhance predictability, and create an environment where capital, technology, and skills can scale with confidence. And this is not a pilot. It is a long-term industrial commitment. We invite you to partner with us. We invite you to partner with us in building pharmaceutical manufacturing ecosystem that is commercially viable, globally compliant, and strategically positioned for Africa's growing health markets. Honorable guests, distinguished investors, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, allow me to extend an invitation grounded in clarity, commitment, and confidence. Tanzania has made a deliberate and irreversible choice to invest in modern pharmaceutical manufacturing as a pillar of health security, industrial growth, and regional leadership. We have aligned policy, regulation, infrastructure, and political will to support those who are ready to build, innovate, and produce. The opportunity before you is not theoretical. The market is real. The demand is growing. The regulatory pathways is clear, and the government stand ready to work with serious partners openly, decisively, and in good faith. This is an invitation to invest not only in factories, but in systems that values quality, certainty, and a long-term partnership. For those prepared to manufacture locally, meet international standards, and think beyond short-term returns, Tanzania offers stable platform for growth, expansion, and regional reach. We invite you to grow with us, to produce with us, and to shape the future of healthcare in Africa with us. Honorable guests,
technical team, nimeambiwa kuna wawasilishaji ambao waliandaa presentation zao, hivyo mtatusaidia kwenye kuproject. Kwa wale ambao wana presentation na walizikabidhi kwa technical team, mtatusaidia kuziproject hizo presentation. Naomba podium ipande jukwani tafadhali. Asante sana. I hope you guys are ready to hear more from the authorities which are going to elaborate the opportunities that are available in this precious country of ours. The opportunities, investment opportunities, market, and regulatory framework. And now, I humbly welcome to the podium TISEZA, someone from TISEZA. Karibu sana. Karibu.
Good afternoon. My name is Daudi Riganda. I'm the investment promotion manager responsible for foreign investments from TISEZA. I'm going to give a short presentation on an overview, Tanzania's investment climate and opportunities available in the pharmaceutical sector. So I'm not sure if the presentation is ready. If it is not ready, I will proceed. And once it is ready, they can project it on the screen. The Tanzania Investment and Special Economic Zones Authority, shortly called TISEZA, is a newly established authority under the President's office. And it is mandated to promote, facilitate, and coordinate investments in Tanzania mainland. In Zanzibar, they have their own authority called ZIPA, but Tanzania mainland, ours is called TISEZA. The primary role, as I've said, is to streamline investment processes and attract investments for both local and foreign investments. Now, in streamlining investment processes, we have a well-established one-stop facilitation center whereby you will find different ministries, departments, and agencies responsible for investments there. They are there to assist investors who are applying for various permits, approvals, and licenses. Again, we have a dedicated aftercare service unit to assist investors, especially those who are facing challenges, and resolve them timely. Now, in facilitating investments, we have about 15 government representatives from different ministry departments and agencies, as I've said. And they include the Ministry of Health, to be precise, the TMDA. And some of those services are now automated. Don't need to submit, to bring your applications physically to our office, but you can sit anywhere, log in, and submit your application, and you'll get your certificate within a very short time. So already 6 out of the 15 are already connected to the Tanzania Investment Electronic Window, TW. We also have a number of special economic zones, and I'll come to that later in the coming slides. You can go to the next slide, please. So why invest in Tanzania? Some of those reasons have already been given by the previous speakers, so I can skip that because of time. Go to the next one, next slide. Tanzania is well connected in terms of infrastructure. As you can see, the country is connected almost everywhere by roads. And we are now connected by the SGR from Dar es Salaam to Dodoma. Our aim is to connect our country with some of our neighboring countries. Next, please. The next slide shows how efficient our electricity is. So if you want to talk about power or electricity in Tanzania, Tanzania offers the cheapest electricity tariff compared to other East African countries. So you can see how cheap our power is, and once the Mwalimu Nyerere hydro dam is complete, we'll be independent in terms of power, and that will make Tanzania sufficient and export some of that power even to our neighboring countries. We are going to generate about 2,115 megawatts once the dam is complete. Next, please. So we have 4 categories of investments. The first one is for normal investors. If you want to invest as a normal investor, the minimum investment threshold, especially for the local investors, is $50,000 US. But if you want to invest as a foreign investor, the minimum investment threshold is 10 times of what is required by the local. That is $500,000 US, $500,000 US. So you can see how we approach our investors, especially by reducing the minimum investment capital for them. The second category is for strategic investors. If you want to qualify under that category, foreign investor, you have to meet the minimum investment capital of $50 million US. And for the local or domestic investors, the minimum investment capital will be $20 million US. The beauty with that category is that they enjoy more incentives compared to the normal investors. And all strategic investors, all projects of the strategic investors are facilitated by the National Development Steering Committee, which is chaired by the Prime Minister of the United Republic of Tanzania. But for the first category, the final decision maker will be the Director General of the Tanzania Investment Special Economic Zones Authority. The other category is for EPZ, Export Processing Zone. If one want to have a license as an operator or developer, the minimum investment capital for local investors under that category would be $100,000 US, and foreign investors is $500,000 US. And the same applies to the SES. We have the same minimum investment capital for foreigners, $500,000 US, and local or domestic investors, $100,000 US. Next, please. So that slide shows some of the special economic zones that we have. We have a number of special economic zones operated under the TISEZA, and one is the Bagamoyo Eco-Marine Special Zone, which is about 45 kilometers from here. And that area contains about 151 hectares, especially in the phase 1. For that stage, In phase one, we have demarcated the land suitable for size projects containing 151 hectares. There is another one in Kibaha. It's called Kuala. That one contains about 100 hectares. And there is another one in Dodoma. It's called Nala. That one contains about 607 hectares. And there is another one in Kahama. It's called Buzwagi. That is mainly for mining activities. But for the first one, for the first three, that's where those who want to pharmaceutical getting with in Bagamoyo, in Kuala, as yeah. So let me go to some of the incentives that are granted to investors, especially those who want to invest in the pharmaceutical on capital. By 100 means there will be zero input when you keep machinery, plant, cement. And there is also zero input duty on raw. The 75% those who want to invest in corporate tax, as you know, our corporate tax in Tanzania on profit. So instead of 4% investing in pharmaceutical, you'll be to 20 of the project. For those who want to in special also zero those that I've mentioned not be for 10 years, just for 10 years. And on issues that's the those who want to special economic zones. For all investors who have the first non-tax there is an automatic which goes up to 10 that you are allowed. You can employ 10 foreign artists if you hold our set. More it should be in a ratio of 1 to 10. You bring more foreign expatriates, you create local staff. So on access to international education, you are registered, you protected. Why? Because Tanzania is member of the agents. You also have access to and that itself gives investors, especially foreign investors, confidence why they should invest here. The other incentive is on profit. Once you here, keep profit, transfer Tanzania to any foreign country, it is allowed, provided that you all taxes, you are allowed to transfer that profit to wherever you want. You also have access to our facilitation center, which I've just said. And if you want to own land, because foreign investors are not allowed to, that to undergo to have derivative right or the derivative title. You can have the derivative right to a maximum period of 98 years. That's the 1 year left because the title is granted for 99 years. So instead of 99, you give for 98. So the fact why you should invest in the pharmaceuticals, as all know, Tanzania spends a lot of money on medicine. We are taught 85% in Tanzania in other Asian, and it is estimated that we spend around $1 US. Investors to invest in all those areas, manufacturing of medicines like ARV drugs and manufacturing of medical devices, and related equipment. Next, please. So this is the last slide, which shows the sector. Especially, you see that during the last 5 years, we only investment projects in the sector, and those projects were estimated to get up to 5,000, and the value was million US dollar. So you can see that we still have a lot to do to encourage more investors. Thank you, everyone.
Let's run to him, please. Thank you so much. Kwa technical team iliyopo sasa mchando wa umeme kwenda kwenye umeme wa standby generator ili kusitokea zile ruptures zilizotokeza hapa dakika chache zilizopita. Kwa hivyo ninaomba uvumilivu chanzo cha umeme
to host
getting for despite the price can be 5, 10, 15% higher, we have up to 15% price preference for local manufacturers. We have done that, and you can see we moved from about $6 million per year up to $40 million per year in just 4 years. So can we project now maybe the next 4 years where we'll be? We can be anywhere between $200 and $250 million easily. And the good thing also, we share some of the product that we wish that could be made locally. And most of the generic items that are commonly used now, they can easily be made here because they're either oral solid, oral liquid, or injectable, or infusions. So these are common formulations that we are using. Next, please. Yes. Now, spinning off that, we wanted also to kind of emphasizing on what our minister said, looking at the potential outside there, Tanzania. If we want to have a sustainable local manufacturing strength, and as the minister said, we want to be a hub, I think our strategies should really focus on EAC, SADC, let alone other opportunities that we may even go beyond EAC and SAD and SADC countries. But if you just look at the population of EAC and SADC, it's about 600 million people. 331 on the East Africa, but 450 in the SADC. Why am I saying 600? Because Congo and Tanzania appear in both countries, so we have to minus that one. So we're about 600 million people. Now, if the market is almost 1 billion for just Tanzania, imagine a population 10 times. That means we are talking about a huge business, not less than 10 billion. I don't have the actual figure, but you are talking at a very good potential for mass production in the country. Next, please. And why, again, aligning or relating to working with MST as a strategic partner? We looked at our infrastructure that we are having a strong distribution capacity. We have zones in the country. Our also storage capacity is huge, but also we are working as a secretary to the SADC pool procurement mechanism, that is an agreement between SADC Secretariat and MSD for all the 16 member states of the SADC. And this is untapped opportunity as we speak up right now. The model that was operating before was kind of MOU opt-in, but now we are forming a SPV, regional SPV, that is purely going to procure for all the member states centrally. And preference will be the locally made health commodities. So again, this is another opportunity, and having the SADC Secretariat stationed in Tanzania, this to me, I think is no-brainer. It's the best place to invest. Again, with infrastructure, as you know, we are strengthening our railway standards, roads, going up abroad the country. All the roads now are very strong, but also we have air cargo, not only through the Air Tanzania, but there are also private airlines that are doing cargo transportation. And again, our ISO is giving us a boost, but also the strategic procurement with long framework agreement. All our procurement, the whole procurement system that MST is doing now is fully digitized. It took us about 2 to 3 years, but now we are 100% digitized, and we are moving forward, especially with the new system that we are creating. We are going to have to have a supplier portal, meaning that we have to integrate fully with the manufacturer, and we can even share stock, livestock, that you can even decide how we manage together. We hope by July 1st this system will be operational. Again, we have grown. Over the past 4 years, we've doubled our revenue from 314 billion shillings to 640. So this is just 4 years, the MST revenue has doubled, showing a very steady growth and maturity of the institution. So it's a reliable partner to work with. Next, please. Yes, now the benefit, the 4 key areas that we wanted to emphasize, to sum up what I said in the previous slide. Number 1 is joint venture. Any manufacturing, that project that we're having, it has to be done with a private partner. And our preference is to be minority. We don't want to go beyond 49%. And the preferred one is between 26 and 40. We know that in that kind of structure, your representation in the board, your representation in terms of their management or leadership of the company becomes fairer, and in that private sector, freedom is easier, especially when it comes to all other regulatory requirements in terms of administration. The second also advantage is that access of the wider market, but also we have an extensive distribution network. And I want to emphasize on the logistics. From July 1st this year, we are going to establish, to have a fully operational
MST Logistics subsidiary company called MST, we hope the name will be approved, MST Logistics. The reason is we want to go beyond borders. And if you look at the infrastructure of the most vehicles that are transporting medicine now in our region, many are not meeting the WHO standards or the good distribution practice standards. So we are already meeting most of our vehicles, so now we are moving to that. And in this MST Logistics SPV also, we are looking at the arrangement where we can have partnership with the private sector, especially again in the joint venture, so that we can put that flavor and the efficiency that we can adopt from the private sector. Again, then the fourth one is a priority in local manufacturers. Can you go to the next, please? Now, the opportunities my colleagues have already mentioned, and I'm sure Dr. Fimbo is also to mention the same. So I'll focus on the fourth one, which is supply to public market through MST. I shared about the preferential pricing that we are giving to local manufacturers. We are almost 50% of the market at one contract. So you don't need to go to 8,000 facilities to sell your product. You come to MST, you have one contract. We are the one doing all the risk to send the product to the market that we are having. But again, we are going to UHI, Universal Health Insurance, and one of the most important thing we are seeing is demand will increase. But also MST may have an opportunity, and we are trying really to push, find a way where we can also supply to the private sector. And that will also boost, you know, the market, but the ability of MST to procure and the ability of MST to collect more revenue, hence also reducing the burden that you are going to face by, instead of selling to many, many clients, but you can consolidate your products to one-stop pool procurement mechanism. Next, please. Now, I wanted to highlight 3 projects that are already ongoing with MST through our subsidiary company, MST Medipharm Manufacturing Limited. The first one is in Kibaha. It's an oral solid dosage forms. So we have a bunch of products categories that we have arranged. And this is in our 100 acres industrial park. This industrial park, anyone who wishes to partner, Honorable Minister talked about the cluster, one in Moganzila, one in Kibaha. This one we are referring to one in Kibaha, where we have 100 acres, and we are inviting partners to jointly invest in this one. So this project was already floated through expression of interest. We have one partner already signed a joint venture agreement. All the paperwork are done now. We are moving towards the establishing the factory, but we are not limited to one factory in one area because it's a 100-acre industrial park, so we are allowing more. The next one, please. The next one is about medical cotton. All these projects I'm mentioning here, I've already done the feasibility studies. We have the feasibility studies, and if you look at this project, it's a moderate investment project of about $28 million through joint venture again, and all the numbers are positive, and we are looking forward to jointly partner with you to run this project. And the next one, please. The next one is examination gloves. This is an expansion project. We already have a gloves manufacturing factory in Makambako, Iringa, Njombe, and now looking at the demand in the country and look at the types of gloves we are making. They are sterile, you know, there are other examination gloves, and now looking at the use of gloves is beyond just in the health facility. They are used everywhere, and the demand, whatever we're having now is not enough. We could even double or triple the capacity, still the demand will be there, just for the country. And these are the numbers that you see. The project cost is about $14 million to expand the current capacity. So this project, I wanted to share the 3 ones because they are viable through the feasibility studies, and they are open for business, and anyone interested can work with our MST Medipharm CEO who is here, and then we can see how we can partner. The next one. Yes, now our key aspiration or ask. Number 1 is our joint venture in manufacturing. This is our primary inspirational aspiration in this forum. But also number 2 is collaboration through technology transfer, especially manufacturing. Recently, MST acquired 30% of the Tanzania pharmaceutical industry's factory in Arusha. This is dedicated to its primary, initially we're focusing on ARVs. Already we already started in investment. Last Friday, the new board of directors was inducted in Arusha, and tech transfer is critical when it comes to these very specialized health commodities. And we hope that in technology transfer is also an important component. But also, number three aspiration is for us, is when you invest to the country, you have this access to procurement mechanism, the SADC pool procurement mechanism, the SPPS, but also we have East African pool procurement mechanism, it's voluntary pool procurement. But also, at all Africa, there are other pool procurement mechanisms such as the APPM that also can be utilized. And how can you do this? Because we are partners in these initiatives as the government of Tanzania. It's easier once you get this access to this information through PIAT, then for you also to utilize and see how we can help you to move forward. With us last slide, I thank you very much. Oh, sorry, just one more. I wanted to project this the slide because it shows where the industrial park is. It's in Kibaha. It's a square area, very, very flat terrain, no hills, no nothing. It's already surveyed. We already done the environmental impact, and already there's one factory that has already been allocated, and we are going to put the central utility facilities, waste management, water treatment, water sources, storage facilities, so that we want to have it. You don't focus on things that are, if 10 factories are putting the same 10 investment that could be centrally utilized, it's a waste of resources. So we want to have one-stop center for utility services, and then the manufacturers can focus on producing the product. That is the concept that we are having in cluster 2, cluster 1 being in Mloganzila, but also that another advantage of this area is only 6 kilometers from Kuala dry port. And that's where all our goods will be stocked and then can be shipped, whether going inland or going to the port for export. I thank you very much.
That's not enough. Let's add some more. Mavere Tukai, now inviting to the podium one of the person who has been a key figure in pioneering the establishment of an effective regulatory system within the TMDA that has enabled the authority to become one of the best authorities in Africa. This includes attaining ISO 9001 certification and the World Health Organization Maturity Level 3. This person has also further orchestrated the development of a robust and effective system for control of clinical trials in Tanzania, which was in existence before the year 2008. He is a PhD holder at Karolinska Institute in Sweden. He also holds a master's degree in clinical trials, which he attained at the University of London, at London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine in the United Kingdom. Likewise, he also acquired a master's degree in pharmaceutical services and medicines control of the University of Bradford in the United Kingdom. His first degree was Bachelor of Pharmacy, which he did at the Muhimbili University of Health and Allied Sciences, MUHAS. This is Dr. Adam Fimbo, or Adam Mitangu Fimbo, the Director General of the TMDA. Let's clap our hands together for Dr. Fimbo. Karibu sana daktari, utupitishe na wewe kwenye yale ambayo TMDA imejipanga nayo. Barikiwe sana.
I think you've navigated around our website pretty much well. Thank you very much for that. My name is Dr. Fimbo. I'm the DG from TMDA, and what I'm going to do for just some few slides to you, I'll be checking through the regulatory framework in Tanzania, how do we facilitate pharmaceutical investment in the country, and exploring any investment opportunities. Special welcome to our guests, our potential investors and existing investors. And it's good to see so many familiar faces once again. Next. So just a bit on us. We are regulators, the National Regulatory Authority in Tanzania. Our mandate is to protect and safeguard the public health by ensuring that medical medicines, medical devices, and diagnostics are of good quality, safe and efficacious. This is our main mandate, just like any other regulator across the globe. This is our office in Dodoma. If you also wish to visit us, you could travel all the way to Dodoma. We have a very good train nowadays. Can just take you to Dodoma in a very few hours. Next, we also have an office in Dar es Salaam where we normally meet our investors. And as it was alluded to before, we are mature level 3, the first regulatory authority to attain this status quo back in 2018. Now there are a total of 9 other regulators who have attained mature level 3. This is the highest, closer to the highest. We have 4 ranks under WHO benchmarking process, and we are at level 3. We are aspiring to reach level 4. We are also ISO certified. Our lab is as well accredited under ISO 17025 standard. Our lab is also WHO pre-qualified. We are also one of the designated Center of Regulatory Excellence for drug registration in Africa and even for vaccines oversight in Africa. We are also offering training to many other NRIs in laboratory testing. Next. These are our functions. We do all the regulatory functions, and these have been benchmarked by WHO, from registration of products to GMP inspections, pharmacovigilance, post-marketing surveillance, and all those sort of regulatory functions that we undertake. Next. Come to statistics, we receive around 900 to 1,000 applications for medicines with registration per annum. And most of these applications are from Asia, mainly India. Over 60% of applications are from India, and a few from Europe and Africa and other parts of the world. Next. In terms of how many products have been registered so far, since when we began registering products back in 2003, around 8,000 products have been registered. And this covers all the essential medicines list, because you normally register products which are in the essential medicines list. And at least around 8,000 different items have been registered so far. And mainly antibiotics. This is leading the order, followed by GI medications, cardiovascular agents, and in that series. So if you'd wish to venture, we could offer to you this kind of information and see how you could think through which kind of items to select when you are contemplating to invest in this sector. Next. Highly imported items, again, antibiotics, cardiovascular agents for human medicines, and in that category. And also with veterinary medicines, again, antibiotics, vaccines, and anthelmintics and minerals and vitamins. Next. And medical devices and diagnostics, again, we receive around 1,000 to 1,500 applications in a year. We've registered close to 2,000 products until to date. Again, most of the applications are from India and China. And we have registered mainly condoms, sutures, syringes, cannulas, in that order. Next. In terms of importation, we have issued around 1,500 permits since 2022. And again, highly imported items, condoms, sutures, syringes, cannulas. These are the ones which come in mostly in our database. Next. And domestically, we have 19 already established pharma industries in the country so far to date. 13 of these produce human medicines and 6 veterinary medicines, 2 for sterile infusions, and 3 for vet vaccines. If you compare to the number of manufacturers which have inspected and authorized to bring medicines to the country, there are around 726. So if you take 19 and 726, it's like 2%. That's why we need to increase the percentage of pharma industries in this country. There are 10,000 pharmaceutical industries in China, I know. I mean in India, and 5,000 in China. Africa total, it's around 600 total all over the continent. So you could imagine only 19 in Tanzania would wish to reach at least 50 or 100 in the next 5 to 10 years. And that's why you're all here. We're trying to sensitize you and see how we could up the statistics. And the medical devices, around 141 manufacturers so far, mainly small scale. They do only small scale manufacturing. Medium scale, 18, 19, large scale, at least, in many medical gas plants. Next. So on gaps and opportunities, we are still importing more, 80% medicines, 20% medical devices, 99% diagnostics. So this is what I was alluding to, that we need to change the status quo and maybe reverse. So after 10 years, we'd wish to have now 80% be manufactured domestically and only import 20%. It's an ambitious strategy, but I believe with what we have, the team we have, I'm sure we could reach that milestone. Again, it was alluded to before with my colleague from TISEZA. We still have a narrow range of generic products that have been registered so far, considering the therapeutic categories that we have. We don't have any API and excipients manufacturing facilities. Packaging materials manufacturing facilities, again, the number is minimal. Next. We don't have any human biologics like vaccines manufacturing facilities. We have only one for vet. We would wish to have at least one in human vaccines. We have factories which manufacture LVPs, large volume parenterals preparations, at least 2 of them. They're all here. But we would wish to expand the scope to ampules and vials, small volume parenterals category, manufacturers of anti-TBs, agents, anti-cancers, cardiovascular, anti-diabetics, all these medicines of public health importance, we would wish to have them in our country. Suppliers of manufacturing and lab equipment, all these are being imported, consumables, reagents. We have only one reagent manufacturing facility in Kibaha, but we'd wish to expand the scope and cover up many other suppliers. Next. And the medical devices, again, all these black bags, gloves, cotton wools, syringes, needles, sutures, spare parts, accessories, all these are the items which potentially can be explored, and see how you could venture and invest in these categories. They're highly used in our health facilities. Next. So briefly on the pathway, what are the procedures when it comes to establishing a pharma company or a medical devices company? So these are the steps. We just need approvals from our Business Registration Licensing Authority, our National Environmental Management Council, for them to issue the environmental and the site suitability of the environment where you'll be locating your factory. We need a clearance from TISEZA, and then we need your drawings so that we can scrutinize the layout, and then follow through now the entire process. From before you put up a foundation, we normally send our inspectors and the team of our experts to come and assist on how you should do construction, because we wouldn't wish once you are done with the construction and then we tell you that you did it wrong, and therefore you have to redo, and that is expensive when it comes to pharma investment. So we normally follow through the process so that we guide you through until when you are through with the facility, commissioning it, and then start now the formal application of dossiers for registration of products that will be manufactured in that factory. Next. We are also, together with our other member states in the region, within the ESC and the SADC, we've harmonized regulatory requirements, registration of medicines. Now all the guidelines are harmonized. GMP inspection, all these guidelines are harmonized. So now we have like a centralized procedure for applications that are submitted. And we do joint assessments, we do joint inspections. So once a product is registered through this pathway, then it can be accepted by us, Kenya, Uganda, and all other East African member states, and also the SADC member states. So it's a huge market, and it's a good opportunity if this could be explored. But of course, this is only for products that the interest need to be expressed through these pathways, the regional pathways. Next. And to date, under SADC program, for instance, we have registered around 47 products, and now they are freely sold in all the SADC market. Next. Again, the African Medicines Agency has also been established. It is now in full operation. The headquarters are in Rwanda. Now, the idea is to register products to be used in Africa. So if you wish to market your product in all over Africa, it means now you will be submitting your application through AMA, or the African Medicines Agency. And then once it is approved and registered under this agency, it means it is freely used in all Africa. So it's a good opportunity as well. And the offices are in Rwanda. This is the building, the headquarter offices, and now we are working hand in hand, day and night, to put up some guidelines, finalizing all the processes and procedures so that the process could kickstart and move smoothly. Next. So how do we facilitate investors? At TMDA, we have a desk at TISEZA, a special desk at TISEZA, just to oversee all the regulatory processes there and facilitate the approval mechanism. We have abolished some of the fees. We don't charge GMP inspection now, for instance, for domestic manufacturers, annual retention fees. The rest was alluded to by my colleague from TISEZA. But we have reduced the registration fees from $2,000 to $400 for domestic products. So if you have your company in the country, you're paying less. We've also shortened the timeline for registration from 180 to 60 days for products produced domestically. Next. We also have a fast-track system to expedite the approval of products. We've adopted an abridged procedure in case of products which have been pre-qualified by WHO or approved by stringent authorities in the world. And as I've alluded to, the EAC and SADC harmonization process. Next. We also expedite the approvals of drawings or layouts, and we do also offer training to our experts in these industries in the country on technical guidelines and requirements that are needed, and the GMP aspect. Next. So just to conclude is, again, to entice you to promote and ask you that Tanzania is also a center, a good country, a hub, which you could also establish your factories and see how we can work together. And as regulators, we are more than ready to support and assist so that we increase the number of factories as I've just asserted. Thank you very much. Otherwise, you could also visit our website. Next. We have all the details in our website, all these guidelines, requirements, everything. And even the MC also got time to navigate around, which was good, just to learn our CVs. But you have all the details in the website, and you could visit. But otherwise, our offices are open. You could also visit, and we can offer you more details, as we really need you for the economy of this country. Thank you.
Dr. Fimbo of presentations, which based on the available investment opportunities, market, regulatory, and Emmanuel Tayari. Huyu Emmanuel Tayari, yeye ni mtaalamu wa masuala ya sheria za biashara, lakini na mikataba, pamoja na kuwa anasindikizwa na uzoefu mkubwa kwenye maeneo mbalimbali, ikiwemo uwekezaji mkubwa katika migodi lakini vyombo vya habari na huduma za kifedha, ambapo amekuwa akishiriki katika ushauri wa miradi kubwa ya kimkakati ikiwemo miundombinu na uwekezaji. Kielimu, Emmanuel mhitimu wa shahada ya biashara na usimamizi wa fedha, yani kwa kimombo ni Business and Financial Management, na pia ana shahada ya uzamili yani LLM katika sheria ya biashara ya kimataifa yani International Business Law, pamoja na mafunzo ya juu katika masuala ya fedha na usimamizi wa mikakati. Hivyo naomba nimwalike Emmanuel Daud Tayari ambaye yeye ni makamu mwenyekiti wa PIAT. Welcome to the podium, Vice Chair of the PIAT, Emmanuel Tayari, for your few remarks on this event. Karibu sana. Tumpigie makofi mengi sana tafadhali.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. For those who are from outside Tanzania, welcome to Tanzania, and we are looking forward to have you here for foreseeable future. Before I start to do my presentation, I would like to just give a context. Why do we have PIAT? We have PIAT because wherever the perception or wherever the experience or wherever the assessment you have heard about Tanzania with regard of investment in pharmaceutical, we want to set it aside and start afresh. And in starting a new page, that's why the government, through the minister, and with the endorsement of the government, they came with this Pharmaceutical Investment Acceleration Task Force. So I'll take you through and how we're just going to give you an assurance and how we can give you a soft landing in investing in Tanzania and how we can do it. And then we'll get it there. So can we go to the second and third presentation? Third line. So as my colleagues have done a presentation here, if you look at our market fundamentals are very high. You look at our population growth, but also you look at the economic indicators. So looking at the trajectory of Tanzania as a country, we have a lot of positive economic indicators that make a lot of good sense on why this should be an investment hub. Of course, we are late to be an hub, but now we are ready to be an hub. So the investment landscape also is, everybody has spoken about the geography of the country, which also give us access to other markets. So taking that into consideration, the government have taken this investment sector very seriously and would like to take this opportunity to accelerate it. Can you please go to the second slide? So as I said, and as we have heard from the speech from the minister, of course, from a national security point of view, of course, the population growth of Tanzania 70 now. But if you look at all the world population projection, Tanzania is fast growing population country. So looking at that, of course, continue relying on importation of medication. It's a risk for the country, as everybody have explained here. But also, we look at the two points that when you look, for example, for business opportunity, for example, for something like vaccine, is a kind of a business which has some sort of a monopoly. And if you look at the numbers themselves, just the number from Tanzania, they justify a business case of setting a vaccine plant. But this is structural alliance for importing everything. The countries want to move and to go to the manufacturing side. Can we move to the next slide, please? This initiative we are taking is not only the minister initiative. So this initiative is covered in our National Development Vision 2050. And as it was really emphasized, our Honorable President Samia Suluhu Hassan in her speech to diplomat last week, that it is her priority. So what does that say? What we're trying to say is there is a huge political will to support the investment opportunity in pharmaceutical. So it only doesn't sit from the minister, but also from the president and the whole government machinery to make sure that the pharmaceutical industry in Tanzania is strengthening, and so that we can achieve the self-reliance of pharmaceutical industry. Can we go to the next stage, please? So, as I said, so we have a government commitment, and as I said, is a political will. So the government has made pharmaceutical manufacturing top priority, and they are providing leadership to make sure that there is no any obstacles in making this happening. Yeah, but as I said, this is alignment with our industrial policy and our Vision 2050. Why we think the time is now, because as you can ask maybe the question, what's the difference between TISEZA and this team of PAT? Of course, TISEZA is the front end of the investment. So when you come, you meet TISEZA. But for this investment to happen quickly, then you have TIAP, so it can give you a specialized support. So the benefit of PAT is a coordination of giving you a specialized support, so that the investment process can go much more faster. We can move to the next slide, please. So the next one again, please. Yeah. So as I said, what is a PAT mandate and authority? So the first one, PAT has been established is to coordinate. So in normal circumstances, maybe you have to, when you come, you have to go meet MSD, you have to go meet TMDA, you have to go meet TISEZA. But the system we are creating now, all these become under one coordination. So it means that PAT will be able to push all these key players in making sure the investment is happening. They're expediting the decision and escalating if possible. So, and as I said at the opening of my presentation, we want to address the bottlenecks, because you can ask yourself, we have all the good location, we have the demand, and we have everything, but why are we not doing well? So we want to answer that question. So in addressing all the key issues which has led us to move very slow in making sure the investment are happening. We can move to the next slide, please. So as I said, PAT is a high-level decision-making body. And within PAT, we have a senior member from the Ministry of Health, but we have a DG from TMDA, we have DG from MSD, and we have a director level from TISEZA, but also we have other very senior officials from other government institutions which are critical in making sure the investment are expedited. So this is to make sure that the investment process and investment decision are fast-tracked and avoid any types of delay which maybe could be experienced. But as I said, it is some sort of a collaborative approach, meaning that we are able to observe where we can improve the process and make things move faster. We can move to the next slide, please. So within PAT, we have something which we calling a green lane approval system. So the green lane approval system, it means that for those for those investors who we think they are very serious and they are ready to move, we are going to put them on fast track processes. And this fast track process, it will be dedicated with a lot of staffing to make sure things are moving very fast. Why we're saying selected? We're saying selected because we can have 200, but we have to prioritize investors who are serious and who are ready to move. And then those who are ready to move, it means that also we're going to complement them with the same opportunity and to fast track their investment opportunity. But as I said, why we say is an accelerated decision making, because we'll see in the following slides, is accelerated decision making because, for example, when you come to see us, in the table there, you have MSD, you have TMDA, you have TCESA. So when we're discussing about your project, it means we are able to assess it from all facets of the pipeline. So whatever decision are made there, it means how it gets escalated to this institution, at least at high level, the decision is being made on how we are proceeding with that investment. We can move to the next one. But to emphasize how PAT is very, very critical, the minister himself is involved on day-to-day operations of and oversight of PAT. Meaning, if there is issues maybe PAT cannot resolve, and then of course we can escalate it to the PS of Minister of Health, and then the Minister of PS, if PS cannot resolve, the minister himself will escalate and resolve this issue. So that is just showing you the management and the leadership buyout and the strategic buyout from the ministerial level. So it means that when we have your project in our pipeline, it means the minister know it, the PS know it, and the key decision makers, they know about that project. So it's easy also to push for decisions which can maybe slow the process. We can move to the next slide, please. Yeah, so the PAT approach, what we are doing exactly in putting an investment word, we want to de-risk investment. When we say de-risk investment, what do you mean exactly? What we mean is, if your issue is land, we'll find a way to find land for you. But if you say, okay, I'm coming to invest in Tanzania, but I don't have very much confidence in this market, we can say we can risk your investment by looking for local equity, because we have also Tanzanians who they have capital, but maybe they don't have the know-how and experience of landing the businesses. So we can give you linkages. Say, okay, we have our local people who also can de-risk this investment. If you're putting an equity, for example, 30%, we can say, let's find you a local equity, another 20%. So depending on that, de-risking, what it means. But also in de-risking the entry, it also means that giving you an infrastructure which can enhance and make things easier. So as we heard from the minister's speech, so we're going to have two clusters, one at Mloganzila and one in Kibaha. And in those two clusters, it means we're going to have ready infrastructure to support you there. So it will be your choice how you tell your business model and how you want to enter. But depending with your business model, we are going to be, or we are going to have the capacity to say, where is your key concern? And then we are going to work out and see if the key concern which is the main issue for you to enter the market, if we can find a way to de-risk it, to make sure you are comfortable for investing in this market. But again, as I said, streamlining approval process, I think consistently that is the language, because that is exactly what we want to do, to continue streamlining the process so we can be more agile and we can be more efficient, and we can be able to live to the expectations of the investors, but also so that we can achieve also our key objective of making Tanzania as a key manufacturing hub. As we say, aligning incentive and infrastructure. Of course, there is a lot of incentive which maybe most of the investor always will ask, and this can come from the issue of market assurance, and of course other issue related to business issues, the tax incentive. And this one is going to be on case-to-case basis, the type of incentive. So your commitment and what you bring on the table is going also to push the choices, or increases the options of the choices on what kind of incentive you are going to get. But I think, as we have heard from the minister's speech, the government commitment is to give a maximum market assurance to make sure that the investment are protected. We can move to the next slide, please. Yeah, so what happened, or what is the investor journey with PAT? Yeah, so this is very important because this is how our fast track process will work. So the first case is you express your interest to come to invest in the country, and you tell us where you want to invest. And once you do that, because as we said, this is an acceleration program, so we'll do an assessment with your commitment, and what we do after assessing, doing the technical review of your proposal, then we are going to confirm that, okay, this is a sound proposal, or if it's not a sound proposal, it's not very clear, we ask you to provide us with more information, or we ask you to improve your proposition. And then once we confirm that the proposal you submitted to us is fit for purpose, then we move to the next stage, because as we said, this is a collaborative way of working. So we are going to sit with you, and then we draw the roadmap on how are you going to enter. And let me be clear in this point. What we want to have is a commitment. If we say we develop a roadmap, let's say that your entry is going to be 6 months, and then we're going to set the milestone, we are going to work on our side to make sure you hit the 6 months. Or if we have a certain milestone, certain decision has to be made in a certain period, then you hit. So depending with the level of assurance which you might want to get from the government, we might as well ask you for guarantee, because what I'm trying to say, because this exercise also is expensive. And also if we give you a certain opportunity for acceleration, it means you might be locking out someone else to come to get the opportunity. So with that case, in the local in structuring the localization roadmap is going to be a critical path. So it means you assess your timeline and how you want to do it and how we can move fast. So it means you will set the pace, and the pace will agree that pace, how fast and how quick we are going to move. And then once we do that, we set the milestone and the roadmap on how we are going to move. And then we go to the regulatory and fast tracking. So this one, of course, it means that is what we have got a presentation either from TISEZA or from TMDA, and this will be the just normal regulatory process. And then, of course, the last stage will be the establishment of manufacturing and completing the process. We can move to the next slide, please. Yeah, so another thing, I know this is a quite important issue for most of the investors. As our team also, we give a lot of analytical support to the investors. So we'll give a lot of demand forecasting and planning data. Why we're giving you a planning and forecast data? Because sometimes a lot of investors, they might be scared to enter into the market because they don't have the right information. For example, there's a lot of misperception that MSD have 100% market, but MSD have only 60% of the market. So there is a huge market on the private, around 60%, but so every investor can come and think, okay, I only need to get an off-take agreement from MSD so to enter the market. And then they miss the big picture that there is bigger market there. With a clear incentive and protection, you can even be protected to go to the private 60 market, of which it can make sense on your numbers. So what we're going to do, we're going to be a center where we're going to give you a lot of market data. We're going to give you projections, and the aim is to de-risk your investment. But not only that, what our team is also doing is learning a lot of business model and financial models and evidence-based models. Why we are doing that? We are doing that so that when you come to us, you say, okay, I want to invest this is the risk. And then we can give you evidence. Based on this indicator in Tanzania is XYZ. This is our competitive advantage. This is not competitive advantage, how we can fix it. So our language from PAT point of view is going to be very evidence-based, but also to be able to speak one language, because at the end of the day, we don't want you to come here and make a loss. We want you to come here and make a profit so you can stay in this market and grow in this market. We can move to the next slide, please. Yeah, so what is our investment philosophy? So it's not everybody is qualified to work with PAT. So the only investors which are qualified to work with PAT are those interested to set a physical manufacturing plant in Tanzania. So if you are not interested to set a manufacturing plant in Tanzania, so kindly just use the normal pathway. So the pathway for PAT is only for the investors who are very, very serious. They want to set a pharmaceutical plant in Tanzania. But second, we want investors who are ready and committing to meet the international standard. Because this program also is part of the country export strategy. We want to be able to export to other markets. If you don't have international standard, it means we cannot be able also to export to those markets. So meeting the standard is very important, but also technology transfer and localization, so getting training, because we have a vibrant manpower here, but we need it to be trained so to make the industry very competitive. And as I said, so our long-term objective from the government point of view, as a country view, is to be an export gateway, to be the hub, because we have everything which needed for us to be an export hub. We can move to the next slide. I think this slide has already been covered, so I can skip it, but I can skip it. So what is PAT and what is not? So as again, the PAT is a facilitative and coordinative mechanism, but we are not a substitute to regulatory compliance. So of course, you have to comply to the standard. We are not saying we are going to exempt you from the standard, but we're just going to make sure that the process of you complying to the standard is more agile and is quicker and more efficient. That is what we're saying. But also we are a problem-solving platform with access to the senior decision makers. Yeah, but again, we are not a waiver to quality and safety standards. because for us to be able to compete, we have to be safe and we have to meet these local and international standards. And also, we are the vehicle for fast-tracking manufacturers. Again, for our friends who are importers, I'm very sorry, this is not your vehicle. This is only, again, for the people who are very serious. They want to come here and set a serious manufacturing industry. We can move to the next slide, please. So there is a lot of thought and there is a lot of support you're going to get. And be assured that the process will have a speed. And I think our speed will be faster than your speed. So we're really looking forward to welcome you to the country so that we can build the Tanzania pharmaceutical industry together. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel Daud Tayari, the chairperson for Pharmaceutical Investment Acceleration Task Force, PIAT. And this marks the end of all the presentations we have had. And so I would like you to join your hands together. A very, very, very huge round of applause to those guys who have presented us with numerous topics. Thank you so much. And please, I humbly request you to please stand so we can stretch a little bit. I know you have been sitting for a very long time. And mjomba Bendi, tuongozeni kwenye kustretch tafadhali, mtupe kaburudani fulani hivi wa shake kidogo hapa kwa haraka haraka for like a minute and a half. Jitikise kidogo, just shake your body a bit to relax your body. We have been sitting for quite a long time. You can even clap your hands. Just clap your hands. Asante sana, Mjomba Bend. We can now get seated. Thank you so much. Let's clap for ourselves. You guys have done a great job. And now, after all this presentation, we are now entering a very important session, which is now time for us to speak what is in our hearts, what is in our minds. The government is here. Honorable Minister is here. He wants to hear from you. What is your view? What is your point of view of the investment opportunities that are available in our country in the pharmaceutical industry? And therefore, we are now entering into the high-level discussions, and I'm privileged to welcome our moderator for this session. Our moderator is a senior lecturer in the Department of Finance at the University of Dar es Salaam, a business school with a PhD, MBA, and Bachelor in Commerce in Finance from the very same university, as well as a postgraduate diploma in Financial Management from the Maastricht School of Management in the Netherlands. He is also the moderator for this topic has enhanced his expertise by auditing courses at the prestigious institutions like Brown University and Columbia Business School. With over 23 years of experience, he teaches undergraduate and postgraduate courses and has contributed significantly to organizations through consultancy in areas such as public infrastructure, financial planning, and economic assessment. His extensive background in finance and economics makes him a key figure in both academia and the industry at large. And so please welcome Dr. Tobias Alois Swai as our moderator for today's high-level discussions. And all the presenters will remain seated. Karibu sana Dr. Swai, utuongoze mjadala wetu. Na tafadhali, kama nilivyokuwa nasema hapa, ni zamu yetu sasa. Mheshimiwa Waziri anayo hamu kubwa ya kusikia kutoka kwetu, lakini tutaongozwa hapa kwenye mjadala na Dr. Swai. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremony, Honorable Minister. On your behalf, I'm going to invite the public, investors, to shout questions to the presenters, as well as anyone, policymaker from the government who is here today. I have ushers who have papers. We can put up your question in a paper. Ushers, you can raise your hand and we can have your question, and I assure you that all the questions will be answered, and the minister will be following closely to receive your answer. Raise any question regarding strategic investment, anything you have heard from TISEZA, anything you have heard from PAT, TMDA, MSD, and any other policy issue. Ministry of Health is here to answer your questions. So I like to say that we'll invite 4 questions, and from the start we have only 30 minutes, and just pinpoint your question straight to the person, and from there we'll look at what is happening with the questions you have in writing, and thereafter we'll invite another round of questions. Our objective is to have like 20 questions maybe, or 12 to 20 questions. Can I see hands up for the questions? One question there. Another one.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you.
Third. So 3 questions. And the 4th one.
Thank you. My name is Dr. Deo, Director of the Roll Tea Limited, the company which is in process of manufacturing a pharmaceutical factory here in Tanzania. I'm in the process of building the facilities, but have stuck because I went to the bank, I borrowed money. When I was borrowing the money, I also, from the procedure of the TMDA, I invited NEMKI. They investigated their site. Then I got also a letter from them that I'm gonna be exempted on the taxes. Therefore, I didn't include the issue of taxes. Now, when I'm in the process of bringing this material for building the factory, then the revenue people, they say, no, you have to pay tax. You have to pay the VAT. You have to pay import duty. While all procedures like from TIC, I got the exemption for import duty. Also from TMDA, also I got the letter showing that I'm gonna be exempted on VAT. But now when my material arriving at the border, now I have to pay. Therefore this one now is blocking, is taking time, talking, requesting to them so that I can pull out this stock from the port. Okay. Therefore I request, because here we have Assistant Minister for Finance, if now you can help me on that matter.
Thank you very much for that question. Well taken. Is on financing and procedures. Thank you very much. And I'll ask Cesar maybe to respond a bit on that. Second, thank you.
My name is John Kaira, the chairman of Wealth Capital Fund. My question is to the Minister of Finance. As a local investors, how are they helping us into facilitating? I understand there are so many facilitation they have provided, but more critical is financial guarantee. Can the Ministry of Finance to give a financial guarantee through Central Bank of Tanzania for local manufacturers to enable them to compete with the foreign who are government-backed, such as Chinese?
Thank you very much for that. That one will be answered by Emmanuel Tayari as well. There is a mechanism the PAT team is making to ensure that there is financing to local manufacturers. I think the minister can say something, but Emmanuel Tayari will say something on that. There is a work stream which is dedicated for financing. Third one.
Honorable Minister of Health, protocol observed. My question, my name is Lusungu Stanley Lupenza. I'm a pharmacist, currently pursuing internship training. My question is focused to the PIAT, Pharmaceutical Investment Acceleration Task Force. And during the launch of the task force, the minister stated that there will be there is a strategic plan, Tanzania Investment Acceleration Strategic Plan, which will be launched. So I haven't seen, maybe is it there in their website, or how can a ordinary person get the strategic plan for the acceleration?
Okay, I got you on that.
Specifically, the interest is that I've heard that we are aiming to achieve 50% production, internal production. So that we must cover 50% of our needs, but I don't see, or I haven't get clearly what the timeline that we have set to achieve the 50%.
Okay, thank you very much.
We are now in 20%. We're now 20%, but we're going to reach 50%. But I haven't seen the delineation of the clear.
Okay. Now the issue of strategy will be answered by our chief pharmacist, who is also secretary to the PAT. Dr. Daudi, please will answer that one. Madam, karibu.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rekha Sharma, and I'm from Delhi, and my company name is Mars, Marketing Assistance and Research Support, where we are supporting government of Tanzania to bringing investment from all over the world. My question is, first of all, Honorable, I'm very thankful to you that you have created such an atmosphere for the pharmaceutical investment, and I welcome you all, and I appreciate that you created PAIT. My question is for the MSD and PAIT, sir, are you also working on the joint venture policy? There is a clause in joint venture policy of MSD 8.1, which create some confusion into the mind of investors about the participation, long-term participation of the venture. It's about the contribution of equity. So I would like your comments on that.
Okay, thank you very much. I think this one will be answered by Emmanuel Tayari as well. So let me invite for responses, maybe 1 minute or two. Start with Emmanuel Tayari on question number 1.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's just because of shortage of time, we didn't have the opportunity to tell you exactly how internally a PAT is organized. But also because of the focus, this is more of an international investment forum, so there is those issues which related to local capacities, which we didn't cover. However, in PAT, we have 4 work streams, and one of the work stream is called local financial mobilization. And I think I gave an example when we were talking about the risking. So when we're talking about financial mobilization, there is a lot of facets there we are looking at. We are looking at possibility of listing, but we are looking at the possibility of having a local content requirements, in a sense that if there is a local capital, because there's a lot of local capital which they have not got their way to the pharmaceutical industry. And we have this evidence in the market because last year we have oversubscription of Samia infrastructure bond. Even 2 weeks ago, we have a lot of appetite for oversubscription for another project. So there's a lot of local capital, and PAT is working to ask the question, how can we tap on this capital to pull it to a pharmaceutical industry? However, on the second point, we are also working with banks to design a special financial products which are going to be designed to support the manufacturing industry. And on the same facets, it means also we're going to engage the Bank of Tanzania to see if we can build something similar like what is in agriculture and other industry, so that we can have a specialized fund which will be special to support. So that is in the side of the local mobilization. Yeah, in terms of the second question about the JV and partnership models, I think these models are very flexible in the sense that we as PAT, first of all, because our work stream number one is to improve all these investment process. As I said, we have work stream. And in this work stream, if there is any issues or there is any design which you think it is going to be variable and making the entry or to de-risk, that is the whole process of de-risking. In the process of de-risking, if you know anything which you think is going to be of variable and making the process more efficient and making the entry easier, of course, let us know and we're going to work on it. In terms of timeline, maybe let me say about timeline. We have a very ambitious timeline between 3 to 6 months. So a lot of those issues which are related to regulatory change or changing law or updating regulations, we hope in the next 3 to 6 months we are going to be able to achieve them through the parliament which is coming. And today was very encouraging to hear the speech from the committee in the parliament, where they have promised to give us support for any changes we might need to make sure things are moving fast.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think the JV will be addressed by MSD Director. Can I invite Tiseza for the tax issues, because they have all under one roof?
Thank you, moderator, and thank you, investor who have just raised the question. I just want to bring to your attention, with apologies, maybe you had a gap in clarity on how are the procedures to be honored the tax incentive after you have been entitled the certificate of incentive. Generally, it just not come automatic that you have a certificate of incentive and then you can pose an importation of whatever list of goods and then they become 100% relieved from tax. The issue here for guidance is I would rather be in a position to assist from my facilitation point of view to have a full detailed knowledge of the importation list to see the items of definition of each item you have imported and how best are they aligned or imply into the tax regime. This gives you a expectation certainty on the importation list. And for the interest of all other investors, my good advice is once you have been entitled with either a certificate of incentive or any license which gives you an entitlement for exemption, it's now ideal time to stay with TISEZA and a one-stop facilitation center where we have the Tanzania Revenue Authority officials. And this session is very important because it builds up a pathway for you to receive the investment privileges through the tax regime, which are directly related to the type of your project. For example, you are dealing with a pharmaceutical project. Probably you must have a very lengthy list of items, and by any definition, not all items are tax-free. There are two categories according to the certificate of incentive. The first category are capital goods. Capital goods by definition and by HS code, they are not taxed. You cannot tax the capital. So by HS code of definition, if you bring up your items and they fall under the capital goods, you can enjoy the 100% exemption. in the event that the definition of items imported are not directly capital goods, but for the purpose of your project, they might be deemed to be capital goods, then you enjoy the 75% import duty exemption. So for your particular case, and Honorable Minister, under your permission, I'm ready to extend my business card with the person who has just raised the question so that you can come to TISEZA's office and see me by my name. I'm James Maziku. I'm the Director for Investment Facilitation. We have the TRA officials staying under our one-stop facilitation center. We can have a one-to-one dialogue on screening now into your importation list and see which one is a doable deal in terms of entitlement of tax exemption and which one is not. In this particular case, I'm ready to support you, and if possible, you may just stand up and I may share with you my business card right away so that tomorrow we can have a fixed appointment. You come in my office.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And you can visit TISEZA website to have those details, anyone with this similar question. Let me invite CP Msasi for the question on the strategic plan and the importation gap.
Okay, thank you. On behalf of the Honorable Minister, I will explain. Regarding the strategic document that we are implementing, they are actually fragmented. You have the one from TMDA, that is strategic document for facilitating the manufacturers. And we have another from the MOH, that is the guideline which provide the profile for the investment to invest in country. But again, we have another strategic document that was produced by through the support of UNDP under the Ministry of Industry and Trade, which they are also talking about the pharmaceutical investment. So since the announcement of the PAT under the Minister Mchengerwa, we have brought all the three documents on the PAT, and now the PAT is in the process to finalize, bringing them together, having the one strategic document, of which probably in the next 3, because we have a very tight timeline, maybe in the next 3 weeks, the document will be out, and then you can access it directly. So far, we are working through those 3 documents and the guidelines that have been given by the Honorable Minister. And regarding the timeline on achieving the 50%, the cutting up to lower than 50% import, as you have seen, the timeline has been set by the President herself that by 2030, we should be importing less than 50%. So all this strategy and the alignment that we are doing here, we are towards achieving the 50% before 2030. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll now invite MSD on the JV policy. But I think these JV policies, joint ventures, they are negotiable in a way. But I know also that we have local content. And I'm not sure that this industry is set for local content. But I think this is the work again we are going to do with the PAT. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Actually, the policy is clear. This is the negotiation on equity depends on various factors. On our case, for example, the land itself, the market, you see the potential for growth. And that's why even in our joint venture, when we negotiate, we can look at maybe 10-year, 5-year, 30-year, 50 years, while the shares may be changing from majority to minority to minority to majority. And they are all on negotiated basis. They are not cast in stone like you can say this is the policy for everyone. We are flexible, we lay down just a foundation for us to negotiate. So the policy is clear that we are going to partner with you, but in terms of details of the negotiation, they are not fixed. It depends on the partnership. I'll give you one example. When we are entering into joint venture with the current partner that we are going to construct a new factory, we put all the numbers on the table, and then we build our case on the assumptions that we had. And then we went to the end, and then we reached a point where the X percentage was given to us, X percentage is given to the other partner. A second one that we are negotiating now actually is also on the same. It's the same JV policy, but now when we put the factors also, we looked at additional potential that each partner may bring to the table. So everything is on case by case. The policy is just a guiding framework where we can negotiate while building a framework for us for partnership. So if you have any detailed clarification or confusion that we are having, I'm available. And our website clarifies very clearly how we can engage in terms of the policies. So,
thank you very much. I haven't received any written questions. Anyone want to write a question? Can you raise up your hand so that you can have the paper? So we have another 15 minutes to go. Someone who wants to ask a question physically? Right here. One question here. One more question here. Okay.
Thank you. My name is Aida Kiangi with Gekar Medical Technologies. Mine is not a question, but actually a comment and something we need to remember as Tanzania. As we're ramping up production, pharmaceuticals and industrialization, the biggest challenge we have is shortage of labor, but not just pharmacists and pharmacist technicians. It's across the board. It's your electricians, everyone, people who are going to man the production line. So if you look at the shortages we have within the manufacturing, I talk outside of pharmaceutical manufacturing, it's something that has to be addressed and at VETA level. We have a shortage of artisans and technicians. We don't need more engineers. We actually need artisans and technicians. And I know with VETA there's some work being done with the Finnish government, but it's across the board, whether it's mining, nini, we have a huge shortage. So it doesn't matter how much we dream to increase production, we have to increase the manpower as well. Asante.
Thank you very much for that comment. I think it is also one of the activities of PAET on how to make sure that we have enough HR in place and what are the strategies forward. Another comment? I'll invite Chief Pharmacist. I want Chief Medical Pharmacist to respond or to give comments on any issue. CMO, sorry about that. Chief Medical Officer.
Yeah, thank you, the moderator. But again, I think as we stipulated from the beginning, what was the objective of this conference? And I wouldn't go much into that. So as the Chief Medical Officer, to me, actually, all that has been spoken here, they may sound as stories to me. Because to me, I'm looking at my patient. How do I get commodities to my patient in a timely manner, in a reliable manner, and the quality of the products that we have? So if you ask me, that's what I'll be really be looking at. So what does it mean? What it means is that you can't achieve all that if your importation is almost 90%, okay? And it has been said that during the COVID pandemic, we learned a big lesson in a very hard way. Because even the people that we expected that, you know, they will import in our country, they were not ready because they are also serving their specific communities and their countries. So this call that has been brought to you is not only looking at having a number of manufacturing industries in the country as a prestige, but no, it's to facilitate serving humanity. So I would really wish to encourage all of you. A lot has been said by my colleagues, the policy environment that is available and all other facilitating environment that have been said here. We are ready. And we have a very good system in terms of health management information system. So in terms of the local context, we know which disease patterns are very prevalent in Tanzania, which medicines do we want, which diagnostic facilities do we want. So we have all the data to support your investment focus. But also we have data including the regional data. They've talked about East Africa Community, they've talked about SADC, and all those other regional blocks. We have all that data. So with the facilitation that is available on infrastructure, but other facilitating environment, we are very clear that, and we're very sure that if you choose Tanzania as your destiny for investment, we'll really be able to work with you, but also to save humanity. There was an issue which was raised here on human resource. That's a very important factor that was raised. Of course, the health sector does not exist in isolation. We also need other sectors to support us, and that lies squarely in the education sector. But I just want to share with you, even if you look at our current focus in terms of training our people in the health sector, we've gone beyond the traditional healthcare providers that we used to think of. You know, by those years, you'd never see a health sector requesting for biomedical engineers or technicians and people like that. But now we've gone out of that. Now we are looking at a sector in a very holistic approach. I'm a medical doctor. I'm not a lab person. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a what. But I need those people to support me. Even when we're talking about economics, we have now gone beyond the general economics. We have gone to health economics. So we take note of that. We have started producing such cadres with, like here in Dar es Salaam, there's the DIT, I think it's DIT, Dar es Salaam Institute of Technology. They're producing artisans and people like that. But we also have KCMC and other institutions. But I think Muhimbili also, Muhimbili University is also going into that. So as we address all these things, we are not narrow-minded, we are not narrow-focused. We are looking everything into a very holistic approach. So we are also working with other sectors to make sure that we have other supporting cadres that needs to be part and parcel of this dream that we all have. But I think let me end it there, because my colleagues here actually were able to share a lot of other things, and we're very ready to continue engaging with you on our one-to-one modality. We are based in Dodoma, so if you are ready, please, anytime. We'll also share our business cards. In case there's anything that you want us to explain, I'll be more than happy to do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We received some questions here, but I think we are very close to lunch. Everybody here is looking for that. We are going to have a B2B sessions after lunch. So I think much of these questions will be answered in those B2B sessions. Let me invite my panelists for maybe 30 seconds wrap up. What are key messages you want to bring to the audience? Then I will invite the Permanent Secretary for some guidance or some comments. Seconds.
Thank you very much, Dr. Swai. I think from PAT point of view, for those investors who have traveled and the one who are local, who are ready, we can start meeting tomorrow to making your factory work here in Tanzania. So we are ready for work. And when we launch out here, if you want an appointment, you want to start your negotiation, you want anything, we are ready for business. We are ready to go. So that is it. Yes, starting from today. So karibuni sana, let's make this factory happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fimbo.
The PIAT office is within TMDA's office in Mabibo. And I just presented that our office is in external, Ubungo area, so you could visit us and we can share with you all the details. But again, TMDA is ready to support. We are no longer policemen, we are no longer we are working as facilitators nowadays, not only regulators, but we are also facilitating business. So you're more welcome, and we will be more than ready to assist. Thank you very much.
Okay, MSD,
Thank you very much. As I said before, we have 3 viable projects that are been done, the feasibility is done. Karibuni sana. The second part of it is we are always open for new products that have already been registered. And once you've registered the product, send us a notification, then we can make a special arrangement for tender specifically for a local manufacturer. Our aim is to replace all imported with the locally made. And just a hint to you all, especially the potential investors, out of all the over 3,000 products that we are stocking, about 112 products account for 50% of our demand. So 112 products, and of them, about 80%, 70% are medicines. Now, to reach 80% of our national demand for health commodities, you only need 540 health products. So if you can manufacture health products, let's say we reach 400 health products, I think we can beat the 50% target even in 3 years. So we don't need to wait to 2030. We can do it earlier than that. Asante sana.
Thank you very much. Finally.
Thank you, Moderator. Honorable Minister, I salute your initiative and it's enough instructions to TISEZA. Naomba nirudie tu kusema ubunifu wako huu katika swala hili ni maelekezo tosha kabisa kwa mamlaka yetu, na tuna majukumu ya kisheria kuwajibika kuunga mkono initiative yako. So we are here to promise and commit on behalf of TISEZA that your initiative will be highly supported with maximum support and commitment from TISEZA point of view, in view of our mandated responsibility in coordinating investment-related issues. We understand whether you go for JV, whether you'll end up in a PPP, whether you'll end up as a single investor, it's by definition, it's an investment. So by any chance, you fall under TISEZA by way of facilitation, and we are here to support. Asante.
Thank you very much. As we close, let me invite Permanent Secretary for policy issues which have not been addressed. Karibu sana mzee.
Thank you very much, MC. On behalf of the Minister of Health, I don't want to keep you long. I know you are hungry, and I want to assure you the food is ready. So I'll just pick few points. One, I think I've heard some of the questions that people were asking. If you refer to the theme of this forum, it means unlocking Tanzania's potential as a regional pharmaceutical manufacturing hub. Unlocking. So all those challenges you have said, we are aiming to unlock. We are aiming, to solve them. And that's the aim of the minister. That's why he has created PIAT. It's aiming to solve those problems. So we want to assure you that this is new era, as he has said very clearly in his speech. It's a new era, no more challenges. And to make sure that the Prime Minister is, capable and committed to that, today, this is open discussion. This is an open dialogue. This is an open engagement. So the government is ready to engage in an open and transparent way. So meaning that having this, we are going to solve the problems. And from this forum, let's no longer think negative. Let's have a positive way of thinking. Do not come here and just try to think, I had this problem. Problems are there, but no, we are ready to solve those problems. Let's from now, today, moving forward, think positively. My brother, you said, and TISEZA James said that is going to meet you, but also not only TISEZA, my office as a PS under the direction of the minister, we are more than happy to meet you and see what were the problem and then we can solve. But remember what the minister said, serious investment, but also without jeopardizing the quality and the standard. This is very, very important. So having said that, we want to invite you for lunch, which is ready. If you look, the timetable is scheduled for 1 hour. And then when we come back here, we planned to have a B2B. What the B2B means, maybe you have other more questions. We are going to have one table for the TMDA, 1 table for MSD, 1 table for the TISEZA, and also for others. So if you have a specific question, this is the time. Do not leave here with any question that has not been answered. But also the minister will be here all the day with you. This is a very high commitment. Please join me to put hands and congratulate once more the minister for the initiative and for the good work. And the minister, with your instruction directive, I want to assure you as a PS, we are going to make sure that we implement each of the direct that we've been given. So having said that, please, welcome for lunch, and maybe MC is going to give us the housekeeping, how the dinner is going to be, how we are arranged. Asante sana, and allow me, Dr. Swai, that maybe we can speak later, so people, let's them go for lunch. We also take care of their health. Asante sana.
Asante sana. Nadhani Dr. Swai alikuwa anataka ombe picha za ukumbusho kwa Mheshimiwa Waziri, ambazo nadhani sasa kwa ridhaa yako Mheshimiwa Waziri, baada ya chakula, kwa sababu tutarudi kama alivyosema Katibu Mkuu, tuende kwenye chakula halafu tutarudi na kupata picha hizo za ukumbusho. Na hivyo kwenye utaratibu ulivyo, kuna kupon ambazo zimegawiwa, na kwa ambao bado hawajagawiwa tunaanza kuwaruhusu Mheshimiwa viongozi waliokuwa jukwaa kuu hapa, na wale ambao wamepata kupon watapita kwenye mlango huu hapa, ambapo watakutana na ushers watakao waelekeza sehemu ya kwenda kupata chakula. Lakini kuna maeneo matatu, kuna hapo ground floor, halafu kuna meza 9, na kuna ukumbi pale ambao tutaelekezwa wengine sehemu ya kwenda kupatia chakula. Lakini kwa sasa ninaomba Mheshimiwa Waziri pamoja na viongozi wengine utaongozana nao kuelekea usawa huu. Tafadhali naomba mtaambatana na Mheshimiwa Waziri. As for the investors,